Right.
Mike, how are you today?
Big three.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I already mentioned that to somebody.
They're like, oh, we're eating up our tires, so we're gonna land. And they're just it's Steve.
For Steve. Can you see Steve? Is he in that back room there? Jody?
I don't think so.
No?
Gardner's talking to somebody.
That's a done deal, right? Well, we got to pull it. No, that's just I heard. Oh, he knows. I'm gonna ask you.
Oh, I already, I know.
Oh,
There he is.
did he even eat a sandwich? Did he just? I said, did he eat a sandwich or did he just eat cookies? No, I think he did eat a sandwich. And the only thing I've seen him eat is a cookie. So I was gonna call him out on it. Shove it.
I'd like to call the City Council meeting of Monday, August 26, 2024. It is 6:12 p.m. Ricardo, can I have the roll call, please?
Yes. Kenneth Burgess.
Here.
Charles Proctor.
Here.
Lance Smith. Jody Wilkinson.
Here?
Stephen Spina.
Here.
Mayor Munson. Here. William Poe.
Here.
Matthew Maggard.
Here.
All right, thank you. At this time, we're going to rise for an invocation, and Pastor Kendall DeFord is going to lead us in the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray this evening. Father, we love you so much tonight. We're so aware of your love for us, and we thank you for that. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for the freedoms that we are able to enjoy. We just thank you and praise you for that. We thank you that we're able to live in a community that just has the mindset that these businesses and these people have. I pray that you would hover over this meeting tonight. May we acknowledge your presence and look for your wisdom when we need it. We ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kendall. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. If I can get you at this time to silence your electronics for us. We have a little format change on the citizens' comments. It's going to be at the anything that is not on the agenda that you want to address. We're going to do the citizens' comments right now. And as always, you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments and state your name and address for the record when you approach. Ricardo, do we have anybody signed up to speak?
Yes, I have 2 individuals signed up to speak. First, I have Kim Earl.
Okay, Miss Earl.
Kim Earl, 37741 Phelps Road. I just had a couple of questions. Mr. Poe and AMH and Craig, the engineer, all had a meeting last Monday, and there are just a couple of things I just wanted to ask about. I know AMH said that they would fix the riprap. He would give you a timeline for the swale. I was just wondering if he gave you.
My understanding is that the swale has been cleaned out. I've not been up to inspect that. The date for the scraping of the pond is to be determined, depending on the weather. And then the retaining wall, the repair work, they were meeting with the wall contractor Thursday and the geotech consultant Friday, and I've not gotten an update on where they are on that.
Are they allowed to work while that wall is compromised?
Work,
On the houses, they're allowed to continue? I thought
yes.
they don't have to, they can keep on. Okay, that's all I have.
Do we have a internal deadline, though, for follow-up? I mean, it's one thing to say we met with them and they said they'd get started on it, but we should probably set an internal deadline or.
So our deadline was for them to respond by Friday, and they responded on Thursday that they had cleaned out the swale and well, with this response, and I have not followed up with them. I've not been out there to see.
I think the retention pond issue, the building official would like to
Building
speak.
official.
I felt that
Great.
pond had been scraped before the last storm, it wouldn't have been as bad, and AMH even agreed with that. But the last picture I have him scraping it was January 31st. But I don't know, he may have scraped it since then. And the swale, I can't tell if it's clean, it doesn't look clean, there's no tracks of anything on the grass where they would have gone in to clean it, so I don't know. But, it is what it is.
Okay, we'll hear from the building official.
Bill Burgess, building official. I had a conversation with Joe Gusto, I believe is his name is, the developer, and they had a meeting, as Billy mentioned, with the engineers. They're in the process of designing a repair for the wall, and they won't be pulling permits for anything in that area. So there's lots, I think, 74 through 84 that no permits will be pulled on until the walls are corrected.
Okay, so there is a hold on construction
Yes.
until they get it resolved.
In the area of those walls, correct.
And just for my edification, any idea, did they talk about how they might propose repairing the wall?
Not yet. I just emailed them back a couple hours ago and said that I needed to have that detail once they decide on how they're going to
We should
do
have a
it.
structural engineer's
Yeah,
detail.
they're going to have their structural engineer and the geotech, the fabric people are going to come up with the repair on that.
So just to be clear, the hold is just for the houses that back, or the properties that back up to the fence.
74 through 84, I believe it is.
Any other lot they can continue construction on.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Carol, you said somebody else has signed up to speak too?
Yes, Christina Tordos.
Okay. And you have to state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Christina Tordos, 37547 Laurel Hamac Drive, Zephyrhills. Good evening, Mayor Munson and esteemed city council members. For those that may not know me, my name is Christina Tordos, and I am the principal of West Zephyrhills Elementary School. Last year, city manager William Poe worked with his staff to provide release time to come volunteer and be reading buddies at our school and also at Woodland Elementary. City staff came at least once a week and read chapter books with our students, asking them comprehension questions. Not only did it provide extra reading support, but it built a unique bond and a mentorship opportunity for our students as well. It is because of this partnership and help from our community that our school has continued its academic path of improvement from an F grade in 2021-22 to a C grade in 23-24. To show West Zephyrhill Elementary's appreciation for your support in our academic journey, Pasco County Schools proudly recognizes the Zephyrhills City Hall with the Florida Department of Education Commissioner's Business Recognition Award.
Wow, that's wonderful. Stand up, Billy, go well, do we have a photograph?
Yeah, we better get
We better get a photograph or Kevin will not speak to us.
For council.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, it's just me? Oh.
3-minute speech.
Okay.
Staff,
You're the one-
staff?
you're the one in
Get the
red.
staff people that went with you.
Yeah. Who else went in red? Yeah. Come on up. I think that's fair. Come on, Ted.
Get up there. Get up
There we go.
Come on, Sandra.
Thank you.
Don't be,
It's leadership. It's leadership.
yeah.
I love it. I love it too. I go to Woodland to Miss Dixon's class. Yay.
That is nice.
Right.
Thank you.
And Ms. Tortles, thank you so much for coming. Oh, and congratulations on your improvement.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And thanks to all of our staff that have done that. It's a big deal to go, that's a pretty good jump in grades there from an F to a C, so.
That's great.
All right, anybody else signed up, Ricardo?
No one else has signed up.
Okay, and then again, when we reach some agenda items, you'll be able to speak at that time to the agenda item. At this time, we'll move on to consent agenda items. There are 6 of those, and I will leave it up to pleasure of the council.
Council President, can I
Oh,
request to pull item 2.6 for discussion? Sorry.
Mr. President, I move to pull that item per the city manager's request.
Second.
I have a motion to second to approve to pull consent agenda item 2.6 for further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passed unanimously. Okay, so we have the 5 remaining consent agenda items.
Mr. President, I move that we approve consent items 2.1 through 2.5.
Second.
I have a motion to second to approve consent agenda items 2.1 through 2.5. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. At this time, we will open up for discussion on consent agenda item 2.6.
The memo remains the same. There are about 7 agreements that are outstanding between MTCZ, Martoglu Tennis Center, Zephyrhills, and Play Padel, Tennis Pro Florida, Andy Sorrentino, Gabby Collard, and Pascal Collard. So my request is that the agreement that you see in front of you, that is approved contingent on all of the other appropriate agreements being signed before we sign ours. So the plan was for MTCZ to have had everything finalized tonight so that they can make an announcement during the U.S. Open. They don't have it done. The U.S. Open will be completed by our next meeting, so we're putting it on. And then they told me this morning that they're not finished with their contracts. So the request is to approve the agreement that you see in front of you, 37-24-10, contingent upon the approval or execution of MTCZ's agreement with Play Padel, with Tennis Pro Florida, with Andy Sorrentino, Gabby Collard, and Pascal Collard.
So basically, they just have to approve their internal agreements, and then we sign off on it.
Correct. Yes.
Move that we authorize the council president to sign this when the internal agreements are approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of agreement 37-24-10 with the contingencies mentioned. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Perfect. That will be a nice little U.S. Open mention then.
My understanding is that Zephyrhills gets mentioned quite a bit in a video.
Great.
We just have to get it official first.
We'll keep an eye out for that. All right, city manager's report.
The first one is for Polypalooza. If Paul could come up, please. If you just present your your event.
I am Paul Correa, 37608 Skyridge Circle. This is a 13th year. Every year I come to you guys and I put my hand out, hoping you'll let me to allow the downtown vendors, which are going to be the brewery and I think it's called the Dog Pound, to offer beer on the street as long as they're in an assigned cup. Again, this year we haven't had any problems in the past. I think we've had during our meeting we met with Chief, and I think we have it arranged how many policemen we're going to have. I think this year probably around the same amount of people again. Last year our attendance was a little low, but I think we were competing against the Scarecrow Festival. So the Dade City or the East Pasco Chamber was nice enough to give us their agenda and stuff, so we tried to make sure we didn't step on anybody else's toes. We hope it'll grow. We just don't. Again, it's always you throw a dart and you never know what you're going to get as far as a day and how many vendors are going to be there. But yeah, so today I'm asking to get City Council approval to be able to have a wet zone just for the day from the streets. I think it's same as last year pretty well, from the brewery down to just above Village Inn and between 5th, 6th, and 4th. I think
The maps. You said two business, may I? Sorry. two businesses. Are there, what about like the pool hall? Are they
We
not?
haven't had a lot of response. They're not, I don't think they're really interested in it, so I haven't really gone much further on. Tried last year, but it didn't really, so I don't want to force any vendors downtown to feel uncomfortable not doing it. There was a little bit of a problem, I guess, with the last event they had where for the cups to work, they have to be distributed and sold through the bar or the establishment. Problem they had with not my event, but another previous event was they distributed cups and the leftover cups were I think the vendors thought they had to buy them even if they didn't use them. Ours are a little different. Basically, I give you a bunch of cups. Whatever you return to me, I just take back because I'll use them the next year afterwards. I'm trying to make it as least invasive as the vendor because I really don't want to go the direction of getting Pepin or getting a beer distributor. It's not something, we've got enough on our palate. I'd much rather just go ahead and let the local vendors. And also the local vendors do get their feelings hurt when we bring outside beer and we take away, because we're already shutting down their streets anyway,
Right.
so.
Mr. President, and also, some of the others might join in later on. You don't know that for sure.
I don't know. It's just right now, those are
Those are the
two
ones you got.
verbal ones I had so far. I'm hoping everybody would. I mean, I've offered to everybody. We're not trying to be exclusive. I just don't want to feel anybody that you have to do it because.
Sure. But if they came to you and said, hey, we want to jump in.
Oh, I would love it.
Okay, good. Well, I appreciate you doing this, Paulie. I think it's a great thing, and I would approve this item.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve business item 3.1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
We'll see all you guys there.
Yep.
You will.
Thank you.
See you, Paul.
Purple shirt on.
Okay, item 3.2 is for the approval of award of bid and approval of the agreement 25-24-03 for the wastewater effluent pump station. The request is for approval of the RCM utilities agreement. The award of bid will rehab the wastewater plant's effluent pump station and chlorine contact tanks. The work will include repairing the concrete walls and floors of the chlorine basins, coating of the same, installing an additional effluent pump and motor. The bids that were received ranged from $2.5 million up to just over or just under $3.1 million. The low bid was provided by RCM Utilities with a bid amount which included contingency at $2,501,367.30. It's recommended by staff that RCM to award the bid to RCM and the contract as presented. Are there any questions?
Items.
Yeah.
And it was quite pretty good range of pricing too, when you look at it, isn't it? I mean.
Correct.
And you all feel comfortable with RCM, obviously?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd move approval of this item.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for approval of business item 3.2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Item 3.3 is construction manager at risk, agreement number 37-24-09 with A.D. Morgan for the city complex. It's request council's approval on the selection of A.D. Morgan Corporation and award the contract based on ranking of a construction manager services contract for the city yard complex. Both the staff evaluation committee and the council ranked A.D. Morgan as the top selection for construction manager at risk. The agreement is a standard AIA contract, which will be used for submittal of the guaranteed maximum price at the appropriate time. Currently, we're in the pre-construction design services of the agreement. The PDS expenses are 0.75% or $120,000. Should the city choose not to move forward with the construction, we're able to terminate the agreement at the end of the design phase. The $120,000 funding is available in the current budget, fiscal year 24. Based on the review of the evaluation committee and council's rankings, staff recommends approval of the award of contract to A.D. Morgan Corporation. Any questions?
Mr. President, move to approve business item 3.3, construction manager at risk, agreement number 37-24-09 to A.D. Morgan.
I Have a motion and a second to approve business item 3.3. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
We'll come back to council to discuss funding. At this point, this agreement is for design, so we will come back and discuss the funding, which, as a staff, we have an idea of how we're funding it. We just need to get formal approval from council. So that will come at a later date. Item 3.4, sorry, I have to get to the right page. Item 3.4 is approval of agreement 25-24-04 for a guaranteed maximum price of the indoor tennis facility and outdoor courts. This was an item that was discussed at last council meeting. The request is for council to approve the tennis indoor facility GMP not to exceed $4,755,576.36. Council previously selected the A.D. Morgan Corporation as the construction manager at risk, the CMAR, for the tennis facility, the indoor tennis facility. Per contract documents, the contractor has submitted a guaranteed maximum price not to exceed the $4.7 million that I read previously. This is a project that say Public Works and I've worked on for, well, and a lot of staff have worked on for several months, actually a couple years since the appropriation. We've had design changes and so we're finally there. The project has to be completed by June 30th of 2025. So we're kind of on a critical path now to get the pre-engineered metal building ordered and on site. With that, Public Works Director, City Manager recommend approval of the guaranteed maximum price as presented and recommend approval of agreement 25-24-04 with A.D. Morgan. Any questions?
Yes, I just had one quick question, and I spoke with you about this quite a while ago in the design. So where the offices and the bathrooms and everything are located, do we have in there where we're going to utilize that space above there for the mezzanine level for either storage or whatever it may be? That's in the design?
Currently, that is, I believe that was not designed for that. We were going to, the conversation that with the contractor was to try to work that in the price to have that as a mezzanine storage, unofficial storage area.
Correct. But, I mean, it's just a matter of heavier ceiling joists as opposed to, that's all it really is. It's not going to be a huge cost at all. But it gives the opportunity to utilize that space.
Right. So we're working on that. Currently, the design, the plans show, really it's kind of an open ceiling above the storage area with some netting to keep the balls off of. But I know that you and I had spoken about that, and so I had the conversation with Shane and with A.D. Morgan, so we're working to try to get that into the price because I think it's important for additional storage.
So how is it, excuse me, how is it cooled? Like, for example, are you looking at flex duct that's coming down from the ceiling, or, so all that's exposed, so that when you're, there might be a net there, but there's some aesthetic issues associated with that too. If it just has a drop ceiling inside or a hard ceiling and there's no finish level there, aesthetically, it's not great.
Sorry, there's a drop ceiling finished in the bathrooms and the offices and lobby. It's the actual storage area that doesn't have the finished roof on it and just has that netting. I'm not sure about the AC.
Yeah, that's correct. Shane LeBlanc, Public Works Director. All of the finished conditioned spaces will have a hard ceiling, and the duct work, I don't believe that it's exposed duct. I believe it's on top of the hard ceiling.
But, if you have a building that's 24 feet tall and you have ducts running through it, and they're just fiberboard ducts or whatever, then there's a flex duct that comes down from, to a lower level ceiling. So that is exposed from the tennis side. I just want to make sure that we're thinking about that, how that's going to look aesthetically. Because you may not see a section of it and be surprised by it.
Good point.
It's common in warehouse spaces, but, if we're going to have televised matches in the space, we just want it to look good.
I'll confirm that with the contractor. Thank you.
Other questions?
I'll have to look at that.
If we accept this agreement number 252404.
Second. Proctor, second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve business item 3.4. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Okay, item 3.5, City Council dais improvements. Staff was directed to improve the council area and the AV system. Attached, what you see in front of you is the plans and the cost estimate for the dais improvements to raise the floor, change the layout of the dais here. Public Works Director, City Manager recommend approval task order K 24-1662 for $97,383.30 to include the alternate bid, which would be the ballistic panel rating protection on the front of the dais at $19,131.25 for a total of $116,514.55.
Right?
Questions?
Discussion?
Couple questions. This, does this include it includes a raised flooring, right?
Correct.
And it breaks out the seating a little more.
Breaks out the what, I'm sorry?
The seating?
Yes.
Is there a little more room here?
I believe there is.
Aren't we reconfiguring this? We're not going to reconfigure this millwork. Originally, that's what we kind of talked about, but it probably doesn't make sense.
No, it's brand new.
Yeah. Well, originally, that's what we talked about. The early drawings I saw were us reconfiguring
Yeah, the original
this.
drawings was coming in and putting a wedge kind of in here and making it all match.
Shane LeBlanc, Public Works Director. If I could answer the question about the dais, the existing dais, we're going to try to salvage, well, we will salvage the logo, but the existing dais itself won't be able to be refurbished, so we're going to surplus it and try to sell it. And then when we build the new dais, it'll be on a raised platform. It'll be spread out a little bit more. We'll have a couple of wing walls on the outside where the city clerk will have more room to work. The hokey floor where you put your feet currently, that will be eliminated, and it'll be a fixed dais. So that little ledge that's down there now that you probably have your feet on, you don't know where to put your feet, that's going away.
Right, and the CPUs will be they'll be mounted up high, and we'll have a little ramp for wheelchair accessibility.
That's correct. There'll be a ramp on this side and a step on that side. And then also the same millwork subcontractor that built this dais is going to build a new dais for us. So everything's going to match. It'll match this podium. We're going to do the AV upgrades concurrently with the dais. It'll have a hardwired microphone.
All right, and there's tables up front. Is that part of it, or are you just using those tables? Or you're going to have tables up front?
I believe the tables
Yes.
are just shown on there for.
Yeah, we'll have two tables that sit here that have the microphones. The staff can present from here, so we're not jockeying for position. When there's a consultant, a citizen, and a staff member trying to all use the microphone at one time. So staff will be able to present from the tables here, and then whoever guest can present from the podium.
The new configuration, does it change the depth?
Does.
Because what I'm thinking about is the podium, if we're going to have a step up, that's going to be all the way across, correct?
Yes.
So I'm just a little, thinking people, when they step away from the podium, that they're not just stepping right back off.
No.
The podium will be at the existing floor level.
It will be, okay, so it will be
Yes.
down, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
the I don't know what this is. This area, the
Yeah.
bullpen, will be at current grade.
Okay, that's what I was,
Yeah. So
checking
this will
Just
slide
what-
out and spread out.
right, so it's just there. That's what I was wondering about.
On this plan, there's two drawings or two renditions. One has like a shaded area, are they the same? They look,
They're the same.
the shaded one looks a lot wider, doesn't it?
I believe there's an existing drawing and then a new configuration. Would
This
that-
is
I
the
don't have it.
dimension
the
floor
same, but
plan and the finished
I'm
floor
looking at?
plan.
Won't load for some reason.
Is yours open?
They're both.
My link don't open.
It's thinking about it. It's,
You have
It's
on
big,
page
though.
227 is the current condition. And then page 228 is the proposed condition. And so one is, I'm not I don't know. There's a dimension floor plan, and then there's the finished floor plan. That-
Okay, so that's why when I was reading in there, they were talking about channeling in the concrete and taking floor up, because the podium, in order for it to be hardwired, we're gonna have to get
Mr.
through
President,
the top.
that's the one you were looking for.
Okay. Well, actually, I was more about the podium, so. So
what I'm
it does show
asking.
the channeling of the
Does it,
electric.
doesn't that shaded area look larger than this area?
I think it's because it does, actually, because it's shaded, maybe? Sometimes that'll make it. But according to the thing, it's the same dimensions.
Yeah, I can't read it. Can I show you this?
Sure.
Dimension lines make it a little bit illusion.
Mine wasn't open.
Mine wouldn't either.
Is it the same?
Saying to the one to the right, the one on the right looks
Oh,
larger.
oh, but it
The
wouldn't-
one on the right looks larger because you have on the picture on the left has your dimension lines of, it comes out behind the chairs and it gives you the length of
I have all the other
like
tables,
distance.
just that one.
Like the 6 foot, 9 foot, 6 foot, 3 foot.
All right, because you can't read the numbers here.
Showing the raised platform area, the shape.
Yeah, so the lines, so the picture on the left has all the dimensions of, the ramp is 3 foot wide, comes up at, I don't know, 7 feet back this way. The step on that side shows as I think a 7-inch step on that side. And then behind the chairs, it shows what the width is by each chair. So that's making it look like it's smaller than the one on the right because those dimension lines are taken off.
Mr. President, what's the time frame on this project?
We're gonna try to get started, do a purchase order this fiscal year, and once we have all of
Probably
the
the
AV
president, the-
worked out with, Mike Panic, we're going to start on it. We're gonna have a project kickoff meeting here soon, once it's approved tonight.
Did they say approximately how long it would take? Is it 4 months? Is it 6 months?
I don't have a good
Lead
The
time
timeline.
is
millwork
this.
guy needs 6.
The
Yeah,
millwork.
they have the
Oh,
millwork
I
person has
thought
to
you meant in
fabricate
here.
this.
So, sorry, I don't mean to steal it from you, but I think the idea is, once the millwork is close to being done, we're trying to time it so that the floor is being raised as the
Right,
millwork's being
correct.
finished and we bring it in. And
That's
it's
how you
not,
do
we
it.
rip this out, rebuild it, and we're sitting at the library for 6 meetings waiting for the,
Yeah, that would be a
It's
perfect
just
time.
That's the right, yeah, that's the right timing for sure.
the goal is to
we're
have
gonna
it done by the,
expedite it.
yeah, the goal is to have it done by the first of the year, just because of meeting space. We may only have to have one meeting that's not in here, but we'll see if it all works out.
So your plan is roughly the first of the year then?
That's the goal today, yes. We will find out for sure once we have the pre-construction meeting.
Can I,
Yes, go ahead.
is this going to be movable still?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to make sure that's still movable. Because when we have events in here, the problem we have is it's not a big enough room for, and I'm afraid this is making it even smaller. And we'll have less seating, and I don't know about you guys, that there's a lot of times when this is full. And then when we have the summit in here, we don't have enough room. So I just want to make sure that we're not taking away a lot more room than what we already have. So I'm glad that's movable.
Yes, this will be mobile, and we're gonna do a floor cut from these floor boxes that are under the existing dais so that we have a hardwired mic that can just be disconnected.
About 10 less seats. If you add the staff seating in there.
Ouch.
There'd be 10 less seats.
And
Basically, the back row.
How are we going to have, yeah, ouch.
Don't have controversial things, and we don't have a big crowd.
Or you can sell tickets.
Or we
Original.
Anybody have anything else?
It's just sad that we have to contemplate putting in bulletproofing for this area, you know. It's just the way we are, though. Pretty sad. I'd move approval of this
Amen.
item.
I second.
Second.
Oh, no, Ms. Jody second.
Okay, I have a motion, a second to approve business item 3.5. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Billy. And we are on to the mayor announcements.
I don't think I have anything tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. City Manager?
Yes, couple things. Reminder that we have the county workshop, the East Side Workshop with Pasco County on September 9th at 9:30. If there's any topics that you'd like to have discussed with the county on that date, please let me know this week. The deadline is Friday for us to present or give them our topics.
Is that the 9th or the 10th? I had the 10th in my,
I wrote down the 10th at 9:30.
I
I
had
didn't bring the paper with me.
September 10th?
look in your email.
It's the 10th, because that's a
I
Tuesday.
had September 10th in my calendar already. so I
September 10th at 9:30. Thank you. Yes, it's a Tuesday.
Where's
Yes.
it going to be held?
It is at the IFAS Center in Dade City. I'll give you, if you plan on attending, I'll give you the address. Okay?
And-
You're welcome.
But, you know,
essentially.
Is that one, or is it the one on north of Lodge? I'll get you the address.
That includes things like our hotspots, you know, transportation issues, things like that, so you have a list that.
Yep, we plan on talking to them about parks, transportation, any topics that council would like us to bring up. Mhm. Yep. If you can get me your items before the end of, well, if you can get them to me Wednesday, that'd be great, so we can put them in order and get them to them before Friday. So, Silver Oaks, you've seen, you've had some updates. Pasco County, along with the state, we met with them last Friday. Kevin Guthrie, the emergency management director for the state, came down. He was making his way to South Florida, stopped here. So water has been pumped, or is continuing to be pumped, along with Swift Mud was there as well. So kind of the city, the county, state, Swift Mud, all working together to try to eliminate some of that flooding that's north of Silver Oaks and then through Silver Oaks. So that's continuing to be monitored. I spoke with Brian Zane of, did I say that right? Of Swift Mud today, reading our what permit. He says we're close. They're still reviewing what was submitted, so we're good with that. And just to talk about the school reading program, I think it's a great program, being involved, just us, but the community getting involved with the kids. One thing that to know is that the school board now requires fingerprinting. So anybody that is going to read with the schools has to get fingerprinted. And I think it's like $40 a person, because then they can track it on a continuous a continuous basis throughout the year.
I think it's good for 3 to 5 years or something too, correct?
Correct, but because I was trying to work a way for RPD to fingerprint city staff, but it can't, because it's the program that they're using. We'll run a report or a check monthly or quarterly, opposed to once a year. So
Good news is, for the east side of the county, but it's right here in Zephyrhills.
Right.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone and the groups that you're in. I know Rotary participated as well in the reading program, but I think it's important for us to continue that and be a part of the schools. One other thing, I saw Nick, he was here earlier and he left. The tennis, the SVB Foundation do a great job of getting into the schools and the kids that they're reaching, not just in Zephyrhills, but the East Pasco area. They're doing a great job, and just, again, having that time with the kids and giving them good role models throughout their day and their education. So that's all I have.
Sir, where's the fingerprinting at, over here?
Over there by
At
Big
the
Lots.
postal, there's a postal service that's in the shopping center where Big Lots is. It's in
In
there.
Allen Road. Okay, because we used to have to go over to Wesley Chapel to get it done. That's why I was asking. Okay, so there. Okay.
Can I just maybe say that if some of the staff want to participate, that the city should pay that $40 to have them fingerprinted somehow?
Sorry, so yes, I left that out. We will pay for that. I wasn't going to bring that to council and ask for it. I was just going to do it. So,
Good.
yes, we'll pay for it.
Good.
I will say that I know Rodney's not here, but he did not participate in the reading, but he did volunteer actually at Healing Hearts. So instead of going to read, he spent a half hour a week at Healing Hearts. So that's another outreach program that staff's doing as well. That's all I
That's it?
have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, city attorney?
Nothing from me, thank you.
All right, on to city council. I'll start out with Councilman Spina.
I have nothing.
I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out and putting up with us for the budget meeting. I think anyone that was here realizes that we do care about our employees, everyone up here, and that's all I have.
We were, I was fortunate enough to attend the Florida League of Cities conference recently, and they talked a little bit about the creative class. So, you know, they made some analogies between what has happened, that, you know, 80% of the people in the U.S. were farmers just 100 years ago. Then there's been changes to the industrial age where most people worked in factories for a period of time. Now, our whole community is really based on the creative, much of our community makeup is based on the creative class. And those are people who work from home. You know, for some of these people who work from home, they actually work in libraries, restaurants, et cetera. You know, it's a way to save our Main Street with the trend of dying retail centers. You know, they talk about development of parks. One idea I had was that, you know, as we get all these parks developed, that we have free internet service at those locations so that they become shareable, Instagrammable locations, so that we're connecting with the next generation of young people in our community. So they talked a little bit about that. There were, I think, Councilman Spina may have attended the event about strategies for combating homelessness. And so it was really a great opportunity, and just wanted to thank the group who put that on, the League of Cities, and give us that opportunity to learn best practices. Nothing else further for me.
Right.
Yes, and thank you, and you're right, the League of Cities was a great event. You go there, you network with people, you get ideas, a very great place to exchange ideas. And I know a lot of the staff, y'all have professional groups you attend, and it's the same way. Anytime you can get your staff or anybody there, you take away something from every one of those events. Ricardo, I wanted to thank you for helping me today with a board portal problem, and he got it fixed, so I really appreciate that. Amber Smith, earlier last week, I think, we were working together on the Silver Oaks flooding, and it was a collaborative effort with the city staff, council, Pasco County, the state, so, and we got the water moving out of there, so I thank you for helping out with that. My wife and I have been using the tennis courts at Zephyr Park for about 2 months now. Been going down there in the evenings, and it's great. There's a lot of people there. However, there are some people there that come by there. Obviously, they're either homeless or have mental illness, and it's kind of a little bit of an unsafe thing. And I think when we were talking today, we're spending $6 million on Hercules, and $80,000 on the sign that we just approved, just the sign alone. And I have asked staff to look at ways that we can help make the park a little bit safer. There's a lot of things that we can do with lighting, possibly with some panic call stations like that are on the college campuses, but we've got to get a handle on this and make it safe for everybody, or feel safe, a safe environment. And I know the staff's working towards it. Matter of fact, Derek immediately said he's going to have more patrols down there. But it's something that as our city grows, it's part of the growing pains. Yes. So we've got to just combat it and try and make sure that the people feel safe in these parks. The other thing, when you said, Councilwoman Wilson, something about like a coffee shop or something like that, we need to look at opportunities around our park to have these coffee shops, sandwich shop, the commercial element is really nice around these parks. So we need to be open and looking for those opportunities. The last thing I have is, we at the CRA earlier, we had the Joe and Tina's lease. I hope we're fruitful in keeping them there and working through it. But if not, we just need to move to the next vendor. And I know it's tragic. I mean, I hate what he's had to go through, but we'll work with him as much as we can, given our fiduciary responsibility. So that's all.
And nothing for me tonight, so meeting adjourned.
Hey, just,
Oh,
everyone has no, it's
Thank
just
you. Thank you to Baduto.
you spoke and they listened.